Hi there.
Hello everyone.
This past week, flowing out of the retreat we had last weekend, is a poem by David White. It's always nice when a poem crosses your path
And really presents itself.
and really,
Because
really.
it was as if at this retreat, there were a couple of poems that we were working with, but this specific one seemed to really just hit the mark, and we were quite busy with that one. Yeah.
So even after the retreat, we stayed with it and we discussed it and we worked with it, and we want to share it today. So I'm going to read it. It's a poem by David White. And any poem by David White, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure when it crosses your path.
Yeah.
And the title of this poem of his is Just Beyond Yourself. Just beyond yourself is where you need to be. Half a step into self-forgetting and the rest restored by what you'll meet. There is a road always beckoning. When you see the two sides of it closing together at that far horizon and deep in the foundations of your own heart at exactly the same time, that's how you know it's the road you have to follow. That's how you know it's where you have to go. That's how you know you have to go. That's how you know. Just beyond yourself, it's where you need to be. A beautiful poem. And we suggest that you stop the recording at this stage and just read the poem. Just read it through and stay with it. Let it soak into you. Almost like a lectio divina, and work with it, because sometimes it's a phrase or a word that announces itself and has this impact on you. Just beyond yourself.
Yeah, I have the feeling he wrote the poem, somebody asked him, how do I know where I should be? Where do I need to be? How will I know? And then he answers, and he says, just beyond yourself.
Yeah.
That's where you need to be.
Not where you want to be.
No.
It's where you need to
where
be.
you need to be. So you're on this journey, you're on this inner journey, but you're not so sure, or you have to make choices and you're not sure which road to take. And you're asking this question, where should I be?
Where do I need to?
Where do I need to be?
Just beyond yourself.
Yeah. And then what does that mean? Because then he explains this and he says, half a step into self-forgetting. So in terms of self-forgetting,
out of your ego agenda,
out of your comfort zone, putting aside your fears and your ego desires, even just giving half a step out of that. You're not even getting it right all that well, but you are prepared to give it a try, and just to give, and really there is no such a thing as half a step. You can give a small step, but still not half a step. You can give
a full small step.
Yes, if you give a step, you have to put your foot down, and then it's a full step. So even in the lifting of your foot, this is such a brilliant image. In the lifting of your foot, in the act of not taking yourself so seriously, and the putting your foot down, where you're putting it down, that's what's meeting you. You're in a direction.
Yes.
That is so brilliant.
And the image that announces itself is, I step out on the journey and the journey meets me.
Yes.
It's the moment I do this, something happens.
Because you're putting your foot down somewhere, That's not where you would have put it down if you were not forgetting yourself. You would have put your foot down somewhere else. So wherever you're putting your foot down, the future is meeting you.
Yes. Yes.
But if you want to be where you feel you need to be, you need to do it in an act of surrendering. Surrendering
Yes.
your ego desires and fears, the things that you're hanging on to for dear life. Because you feel that's the only option, or you're the only one that can do this. So it's really a scary step to take. And I think the reassurance comes in that part where he says, you will know that it's the right road. If the direction it's leading, and that what's living deep inside of you, your deepest desire, your soul's desire, God's dream for you, if that comes together, if you look ahead and you see that coming together, then you know you're on the right road. You are where you need to be, even if it's just a small little step into that way.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
There's a resonance between what my soul feels and what is happening.
Yes. Yes.
The two meet.
It's like a little dirt road with two tracks, and it's the same road. You're looking ahead, and it's the same road actually. So if you are trying to, you see the road ahead, you sort of know that's where you are led to, but you are not forgetting yourself, then this track will actually, the other track will
diverge.
Yeah. Like the Robert Frost's poem,
Yeah.
The Road Less Traveled.
Yeah, yeah. Because the majority of us venture out on the road generally traveled.
Yeah,
or frequently traveled. The road that is safe. The road that the ego chooses for us because there aren't surprises, there aren't any...
You actually know where it's heading.
Yes, and it's
what it looks like on the road.
It's preferable that it has a curve in terms of a 5-year plan or a 20-year plan or whatever. The ego feels comfortable with that. And that is, I think that is something that Jesus had in mind where he talked of the narrow road and the wide road. And Robert Frost says, 2 roads diverged in the wood and I took the one less traveled. And it made all the difference. Because it makes all the difference. It makes all the difference.
I think an example of such a journey would be when we really felt we had the marching orders to start a retreat center, to get that up and running, and we didn't know where. So we were searching, but we had this in our, like he says, at the foundations of our heart. That was what we felt. And then we came to Bokkerstroom and we discovered the area and the place where we could do this. And it was like those 2 tracks coming together. I think that would be a good example of this.
Yeah, something happening that affirms what and plays into what is stirring in your own life.
Yeah. I think it's very important to know that this is not a journey where you are wishing for a certain outcome and you see that as the deep foundations of your own heart. I think what he means by the foundations of your own heart is a soul calling, a soul is that road that's beckoning in any case. Because that's the other thing, there's something calling all the time that we are either suppressing or and too scared to listen to. And that is the road of self-forgetting.
Because the self-forgetting, we want to repeat it, it's a road different from the ego's plans and strategies and all of that. It is resonating with deep essence.
And it even makes you scared on a deep level.
And often
It's
it doesn't
out of your
even
comfort.
make it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, and you don't know where it's heading.
Yeah.
You can see the two tracks coming together. You know that's where you need to go.
Yes.
Like David says.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's how you
That's
know.
how you know. Yeah.
It's where you have to go. And he focuses it and he says that's how you know you have to go.
Yeah.
That's how you know. And it reminds me of a passage that I absolutely love in Acts 8 and 9, where Philip is busy with this big work under the Samaritans, and he's quite successful, and there's fruit on his work, and then he's called to this lonely road in the desert. In the first place, he doesn't know what he's called to.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's giving a step into self-forgetting. It's not his agenda, his success or whatever. He's giving half a step into self-forgetting. And then it meets him in this wagon coming way in the distance, coming towards him. And the two meet. And it is in these steps. He sees the wagon, then he walks besides it, and then he gets onto it, and he talks with this.
Yeah, and all the while, nothing except for the next thing that he has to do opens up. He doesn't see the end or he just does the next thing.
Yes.
He just gives another half a step into self-forgetting.
Yeah.
And meeting what's coming towards him.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant example.
And it's just an affirmation as to how the Bible works with exactly this material.
Yeah.
And where we often miss it because we have a different lens through which we look at it, but it's exactly what the Bible is talking about. So, lovely material if you want to stay with it. And we hope new insights announce itself and it helps you on your journey.
Let us know what you discover.
See you again next week.
Lovely week, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.